Aldi is a fun and affordable place to shop, but quite a few of its best ways to save and some of its most intriguing company secrets are kept pretty hush-hush. These are the skeletons in your favorite supermarket's closet. One Aldi secret employees don't want you to know is that Aldi was born from a feud, if the employees themselves even know about it, that is. Two brothers named Karl and Theo Albrecht took over their parents' German grocery store after returning from World War II. They decided to franchise the store and had 77 locations by 1954. The stores, which eventually became Aldi, were no-nonsense with only bare essential products. You heard that right. There was no perishable foods, no decorations, and no advertising. Despite the success they found with their concept, the two brothers fought over whether or not they would sell cigarettes in 1961. Karl was worried people would try to shoplift cigarettes and split off into a cigarette-free store called Aldi Süd. Meanwhile, Theo's cigarette-selling store was called Aldi Nord. As you can guess from the lack of cigarettes for sale in your local Aldi, Karl's Aldi Süd is the store we know in the US. Despite their differences, the two stores still worked together. You can still find Aldi Nord in various cities across Europe today. There's definitely a difference between the two Aldis. While they have a similar feel, the two stores have different logos and they have different products. In 1971, Theo was kidnapped and held for ransom for 7 million Deutschmarks. After 7 days, the kidnapper freed him, and he claimed the ransom money on his taxes. Conspiracy theories circulated. After the kidnapping, both brothers became recluses. Trader Joe's and Aldi are also related. However, the Aldi family tree is twisted such that Trader Joe's is actually the adopted stepbrother of the US Aldi. Trader Joe's first opened in Pasadena, California in 1967, so it existed before Karl Albrecht's Aldi Süd crossed the ocean and opened stores in the US in 1976. Aldi Nord didn't follow its sibling chain to the US in the traditional way. Instead, it bought Trader Joe's 3 years later in 1979. Or at least the Albrecht Family Trust, which owns Aldi Nord, did. So Aldi does own Trader Joe's, but it's not the Aldi you know in the US that owns it. Many people who shop at both Aldi and Trader Joe's believe that the same company owns both, but they have different parent companies. Every time you go to Trader Joe's, you're participating in a long-held rivalry. Interestingly enough, even though the initial argument separating the two Aldis was about whether or not to carry cigarettes, you won't find them in Trader Joe's or your local US Aldi. Aldi's employees hope you don't notice that Trader Joe's has far more interesting products than the US Aldi. If you peruse its website, you're also likely to get jealous that the version of Aldi that came to the US was Süd, not Nord. Aldi Nord even offers online deals on products like hot tubs and inflatable boats.
Let me in! Let me in!
Die-hard Aldi fans and deal seekers know the Aldi secret that most of the deep discounts show up on Wednesday mornings. Older meat gets a markdown, as does Aldi Finds from the previous week. When there are especially good deals or exciting items in the Aldi Finds aisle, aka the aisle of shame, it's not uncommon for people to line up at the door before the store even opens. Then there's a Black Friday-like dash through the doors to retrieve that special item before it's gone. When it comes to the Aldi Finds aisle, there's often a limited stock, so early birds sometimes hoard products, although some Aldi Finds are located elsewhere in the store, like in the frozen food section. Aldi Finds items have white tags with red lettering. Aldi employees don't want you to know that you're likely to find discounts in the store every Wednesday morning that you won't find online or featured in in-store ads, because it would add to the Wednesday morning chaos. When the store closes on Tuesday nights, the sticker prices change. You never know what markdowns you'll find the next morning around the store as employees try to make room for the next week's new products. One of the biggest scandals that ever hit Aldi was when some of its beef products contained horse meat instead. Aldi wasn't at fault, but the employees certainly don't want you thinking you might find surprise horse meat in your Aldi food. The horse meat incident happened in 2013 as a result of a kerfuffle with its meat supplier. DNA results confirmed that some Aldi products that were supposed to be beef were actually 30 to 100% horse meat. Once Aldi confirmed that some of its beef lasagnas and frozen burgers contained horse meat, it immediately pulled the products off its shelves.
Lasagna was found to have up to 100% horse meat.
The horse meat scandal happened along an international supply chain pathway. A French food producer asked its subsidiary in Luxembourg to make beef products and ordered the meat from France. A Cyprus subcontractor sourced the meat, enlisting a trader in the Netherlands who ordered meat from Romania. The Romanians sent horse meat through the supply chain, swearing that the order had been for horse rather than beef. Then the Aldi products ended up getting made with horsemeat. Clear as mud? Yeah, we thought so. The bottom line is that Aldi never intentionally sold horsemeat to its customers and wishes you'd forget it ever happened. If you're looking for a deal in the bakery aisle and stumble upon bread that seems too cheap to be true, there's an Aldi secret that employees don't want you to know about it. If you buy cheap bread, it's not going to last as long as the more expensive bread. 5 days before Aldi bread is about to expire, Aldi cuts the original price in half. The older bread will also be closer to the front of the shelf. Of course, if you go through bread quickly or plan to store it in the freezer, it's not a bad deal. But if you value having nice, soft bread that you can eat for a while at a leisurely pace, you're going to want to check the expiration date on any cheap bread you find. If you want the freshest possible bread, you want to come in on Wednesday when the store has been restocked. There's another trick you need to know. When Aldi employees reduce a product like bread or meat that stays on the shelf on a regular basis, they will add an Aldi Savers tag or a price is so low sticker. You might even see a handwritten discount price if there weren't a whole lot of the items left on the shelf in the first place. In these cases, you'll likely notice an expiration date on the package that's in the immediate future. Don't tell Aldi employees we told you this, but you may be able to ask for a price discount on some items. Not only can you ask a store manager for a discount in certain cases, but you can also ask for a price adjustment refund if you notice a price markdown on an item you've already purchased. In this case, you can show the cashier your original receipt for having purchased the item at a higher price and ask for a refund of the price difference. Use your head when asking for a discount or price adjustment. A store manager would be more likely to honor a discount request if you're buying items in bulk, or if you've seen an expensive Aldi Finds item not move off the shelf for weeks. However, they're going to say no if you ask for a price adjustment refund for something like bread or meat that they've marked down because it's nearing its expiration date. It's more likely that asking for a price adjustment refund would be successful for marked down sale items like canned or boxed food, refrigerated food, frozen items, or toiletries you regularly see on the shelf. Another thing you need to know about the price adjustment refund is that it only works within the same store where you first bought the product. Aldi also doesn't price match with other stores like Walmart, so don't bring in another store's ads hoping for a refund.
The discount supermarket chain is expanding its Instacart same-day delivery service to 35 states.
Don't get an Aldi employee started about their dislike of the online shopping option. Those Instacart orders are the bane of their existence. One Aldi employee said on Reddit that it's exhausting because we're timed on how quickly we shop, pack, and bring your order to your car. Since there may only be one employee dealing with every part of the process, it can be especially stressful during busy times. Another Aldi employee on Reddit says, grocery shopping for 9 straight hours, customers inside the store in your way asking questions while we're trying to do the curbside orders and being timed on them, customers placing huge orders that require 2 carts and take too long to get done. As you can imagine, it's the job that most employees don't want to be assigned to do. Especially if the store is busy, there aren't a lot of other employees to help customers on the floor, and they keep getting interrupted during a timed task. Aldi's return policy is extremely generous, which can be annoying to employees if you're always bringing things back, especially on busy days. However, Aldi's twice as nice guarantee allows you to bring food you don't like back for a refund and a replacement, as long as you bring the packaging and any unconsumed food back to the store. Basically, if something you brought home gives you bad vibes, you don't have to feel guilty about making a buyer boo-boo.
Fine, why don't you just return me then?
You didn't come from Aldi.
Of course, sometimes a product will sit in your cupboard or freezer long after you've lost the receipt. If you end up with a vile product and no receipt, Aldi's return policy still allows you to bring back the packaging and uneaten food without a receipt. So if you bought garlic mashed potato chips around Thanksgiving and later hated them as much as we did, you can bring the uneaten portion of the package back and get a refund. However, if you don't bring your receipt, you can't get a monetary refund, just an Aldi gift card. A big Aldi secret is that this generous return policy allows you to try items you're not quite sure about, like unfamiliar products during German Week. Just bring it back if you don't like it. Aldi says the twice as nice guarantee does not apply to non-food Aldi Finds items, alcohol, national brands, and non-quality related issues. Such items only merit a replacement or a refund, but not both. And electronics are on a 90-day clock for returns. Aldi doesn't accept non-Aldi coupons, not even manufacturer coupons for name brand items. If you ever get an Aldi coupon, it will be one you find in the store or get in the mail, and these are fairly rare. For example, you might see some when a new Aldi location opens in your city. Otherwise, you're usually stuck paying the prices you find listed on store shelves or packaging stickers. However, one trick employees won't tell you is that you can get cash back if you use Checkout 51 when shopping at Aldi.
We all have to eat, so why not get paid to buy your groceries? Checkout 51 is an app and website that lets you do just that.
The Checkout 51 app provides cash back for certain items on scanned Aldi receipts. The app lists refreshes every Thursday and includes a list specific to Aldi. The cashback amount may be just a few cents, but you may also find items that give you as much as $3 back. There is one caveat. If you compare what's on the Checkout 51 Aldi list with what's currently available to buy at Aldi, the products may not necessarily match. Checkout 51 lists several products by a brand that Aldi carries, but Aldi may not now or ever carry that particular item. For example, Checkout 51 may list several Arm & Hammer brand products, but Aldi may only have A&H cat litter or laundry detergent, or even no A&H products at all. So the list is really hit and miss. And you'll want to check Aldi's online product lists before thinking you're going to really make some serious cash back. Aldi employees want you to do as much shopping at Aldi as possible. While it's true that many items are cheaper at Aldi than anywhere else in town, it's not true for every product. You'll find fewer good deals on name brand products and fewer good deals in the toiletry aisle. For instance, Honey Nut Cheerios costs $1.30 more at Aldi than at Walmart. The price difference can be even more extreme in the toiletry aisle. You'll pay $2.88 more for Head & Shoulders Classic Clean at Aldi than you will at Walmart. Meanwhile, Crest Plus Scope has an even more extreme $3.38 price difference between Aldi and Walmart. So not only should you do a price comparison when grabbing name brand products, but you may want to skip the toiletry aisle altogether.